Yo, what up YouTubers? How we doing today? It's your boy Taco Supreme here, aka the Big Lip Beast! And I am a competitive esports player for Brigade Esports. Recently I've been playing a boatload of Pokemon Unite. I mean, the game's been out for like 3 or 4 days and I put damn near 2 full days into this game. So when I say I've been playing a lot of Pokemon, I mean a literal boatload of Pokemon Unite. And honest first impressions? I love it! I am addicted to this game. I think this game is the next big thing. I think the esports world is going to go crazy when they announce that first 100K tournament. And if you're on the brink, if you're on that edge and you don't know if you should download the game or not, you don't know if you should give it a try, download the damn game! You better hop on that bandwagon and ride that gravy train to the promised land because you do not want to be late to this one, ladies and gentlemen. And I have 10 simple tips and tricks to help you level up your game and evolve in Pokemon Unite. Let's get into it. Farming! Okay, so I thought that we'd start the list with one of the most basic, crucial, and essential parts of the game, farming. In Pokemon Unite, there are wild Pokemon NPCs that spawn around the map, they kind of roam around the map. Every time you kill one, you get XP, any surrounding teammates also get XP, and you get what's called EOS Energy, which is the point system. You need to dunk your EOS Energy in the enemy buildings to score points to win the game. Most of the time, your teammates are probably going to roam around not really paying attention to farming the NPCs, and they're only going to focus on killing the enemy team. Where in all reality, if you just spent the first 2-3 minutes of the game just farming, just minding your own business, roaming around the map, killing all the different wild NPC Pokemon, you'll be a higher level, you'll have more EOS Energy than the other team, to where if you had to fight, if you had to defend, you could eliminate the other enemy Pokemon, and every time that you eliminate an enemy Pokemon or are eliminated yourself, you lose half of the energy you're carrying, and then you can score on them. Seriously though, I mean, just try it one time. Just spend the first 2 to 3 minutes of the game just farming, leveling your Pokemon. You'll be a higher level than the enemy team, and I promise you, you will win that game. In Pokemon Unite, doing nothing is always better at the beginning of the game. I promise you, don't go for the ganks. Do not only focus on the enemy team. Focus on farming. What's the next one on the list? Customizing your controls is also another very important factor of Pokemon Unite. By default, the A button is the attack button, but if you go into the settings menu, you can change it to advanced settings, where pressing or holding the B button focuses on a wild Pokemon NPC, and pressing and holding the A button focuses on the enemy team's Pokemon. So if there is a team battle or a skirmish with a bunch of Pokemon NPCs in there, you can use the A button to focus on the enemy team, or the B button if you're trying to steal the enemy Pokemon away from the enemy team. This helps a lot because many people are still using the default controls, and they will not be able to focus on you other than skill shots. There's also a lot of different lock-on mechanics, smart casts, and there's a way to target specific Pokemon. So when you do get into a team fight, you can target the attackers, you can target the speedsters over targeting that Snorlax or that Crustle that's way in front. The thing about these controls are that the sooner you change them, the better. It's going to feel very, very strange the first 5 to 10 games, possibly even the first week after changing them. You're going to mess up targeting a wild Pokemon rather than the enemy team's Pokemon, or you're going to mess up trying to lock on to the wrong Pokemon in the heat of a battle because it can get a little bit overwhelming. But like anything, if you change it sooner, the faster you get used to it, the faster you have that advantage over the enemy team. So give it a shot. Again, it's in the settings, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. What's the next on the list?
For the love of God and all that is holy!
Do not, I repeat, do not tower dive in this game, okay? For those of you who do not know what tower diving is, it's essentially when you get a member of the enemy team weak to where they're 1 or 2 skill shots away, and then you chase them back to their enemy structure because they're retreating, and you try and finish them off. However, in Pokemon Unite, the dunk zone or their tower where you score your points Right when they touch that, when they're retreating, they get a speed boost, they get instant health regeneration, and usually 10 feet behind that enemy structure is a citrus berry, which gives you 1500 health, which is like 3/4 of your health bar early game. On top of that, most of the time when they are retreating back to their tower, they are going to be 1v1ing you or 1v2ing you. This happens to me all the time. I'll be almost dead, I'll be going back to my tower, they stand and try and fight me under my tower, and I 1v1 or 1v2 them, and in some cases they even try to do it when all 5 of my teammates are there. So we team wipe, and then at the end of the game, we pick up everything, and we dunk all of our points, and we usually end up winning the game. So please, next time you feel like tower diving, just don't do it. And just return to farming, maybe farm their creeps, their wild Pokemon, steal some of their XP, some of their energy, and then that puts you that much farther ahead of them. There are very, very few situations in the game where you want to risk your life and dive on something, and I can assure you that tower diving is not one of them. Which brings us to the next part of the list. In Pokémon Unite, you can go to the Pokémon tab at the lower part of the home screen. There, you can choose what Pokemon you think you would like to try, look at all their different moves, what their role is, what their melee type is, and what their passives are. After you find a Pokemon you think that you would like to try, you can go into the Practice tab and over to the Practice area where you can choose that specific Pokemon. The good thing about Practice mode is it helps you try out all the different Pokemon before you purchase them, so that way you don't waste your coins on somebody that you end up not liking. On top of that, it helps you try out different roles or even pick your favorite Pokemon per role, depending on what role you end up playing in that match. Which brings me to the next point in the list. You gotta know your role. So, for example, let's say you're playing a defender, let's say you're playing Crustle. You don't want to be that guy that's roaming all over the map just trying to get those ganks, right? So let's say you go top lane with an attacker. You're going to be there to support that attacker. You're going to take a little bit of that damage for that attacker and just disrupt that enemy team as much as possible during those skirmishes over the Combees and the Vespiquen, during those little battles that happen from time to time, to get that attacker as good as they can be and defend your base. And then late game, you're that defender, so you're the frontline person, you're just trying to move people around, you're trying to be as annoying as possible so that you can take those objectives like Zapdos, or you can win the team fights, and then your whole team can score a ton of points, and it will bring you the victory of the game. Speaking of Zapdos and objective Pokemons, I guess that brings us to the next point on the list. Alright, so this one is going to be short and simple. You know how before I said there are a few things that may be dive worthy? Well, in the game, I can think of 3, maybe 4 things that would be dive worthy. The first being Rotom, he spawns at the top of the map. The second being Dreadnought, who spawns at the bottom of the map. The third being at the very end of a game when you think the game is close and they're all 5 at your zone. They're all trying to score points and you're just going to dive and trying to interrupt them so that they can't score any points. And the fourth being Zapdos, who spawns in the last 2 minutes of the game. If you kill Zapdos, there's always going to be a team fight at Zapdos. If you kill Zapdos, it disables all the defenses for the other team, and within those 2 minutes, those last 2 minutes, no matter what, even if you don't get Zapdos, all of the points, all of that Eos energy that you dunk is doubled. And that is why you never surrender. The game's 10 minutes long. If you can't make it 10 minutes without quitting, then I don't know what to tell you, man. But I've played about 1 million games of this so far, and about 3/4 of them, 75% of them, are decided within that last 2 minute period. So if anything in the game is dive worthy, it's Zapdos. You hop over the wall, you get that last hit on Zapdos, your whole team can dunk all their points, insta-dunk for double points, and it throws you back in the lead. And that's pretty much that. So, I mean, let's roll the thing to the next one. In Pokémon Unite, there are 2 types of items. There are battle items and held items. Battle items are used during a match by pressing Y on the controller, and they are on a short cooldown. A lot of times, popping that battle item at just the right time will turn the tide of the battle for you and your team. And then we have held items. Held items are more of a passive trait that you can put on each specific Pokemon, depending on how you want to play that Pokemon. For example, Leftovers gives you a percentage of your HP back while you are out of combat. Another unique fact about held items is that you can upgrade each individual held item up to level 20, boosting its effect. Okay, so map awareness seems super duper simple, but I mean, it's really not, right? It's a little bit more tedious than you think. Obviously, you probably know that in this game, in the top left corner, there is a mini-map, and you know, oh, my teammates are here and there and there. But there's so many more things you can do with it. If you press minus on the controller, it does enlarge your mini-map. It shows where your teammates are, and if anyone has vision on an enemy member, then it shows where all the enemies are. It also shows you when stuff spawns, so it tells you when Rodham's going to spawn, tells you when Zapdos is going to spawn, tells you when Dreadnought is going to spawn, right? And then it also refreshes when the wild Pokemon NPCs, which is what you should be farming to level up and get energy to win the game, it says when they respawn. So whenever your Ludicolo respawns, or the Buffalo Bill, or, you know, your hand monkeys, like all that stuff, right? It's going to tell you when all that respawns. Another cool thing about map awareness and the mini-map is I think that the bushes on the map are super underutilized. You can use them offensively and defensively. So offensively, you can hide in the bush, because anytime you're in the bushes, you're undetectable, and you can hop out and kill somebody. And defensively, if you're losing a fight and you're about to die, you can run through a bush, and that enemy Pokemon cannot target you. So that will save you for a few attacks, to where maybe if you're playing Talonflame, you can use your fly over a wall, land somewhere else, go in another bush, and recall, right? You can recall back to base. It'll save your life 9 times out of 10. Right? The only way they can hit you in the bush is if they use a skill shot like I don't know, Cinderace's Pyro Ball, right? And that's only if that's off cooldown. Recalling, you just hold down on the D-pad, or you can press it, and it takes like 2 or 3 seconds of channeling where you can't move or get hit, and it sends you back to base and you heal up full. What's similar about the minimap in this game to different genres, maybe like an FPS, is you just kind of always want to be looking at your minimap every few seconds. And then you'll see where everyone is. That way you won't get ganked as much. That way you will see where you need to defend. And that way you see when you can score safely. Alright guys, we have one last simple tip and trick to help you level up your game in Pokemon Unite. I want to thank everyone who made it this far. If you haven't already, you know, like, subscribe, comment, do all that jazz. If you're feeling up for it, you know, just kind of let me know what kind of Pokemon you like to play in the game so far. What modes you've been playing, what you really like about Pokemon Unite. And if you're free, I do stream 3 to 4 days a week at twitch.tv/Taco Supreme. If you want, you can hop in my chat, kind of talk shit. I do play a lot of games with viewers, so hopefully one day we'll get to play together. Thanks, guys. Oh my god, we didn't see that one coming! Alright, but yo, so seriously, I mean, communication, that is key in every single team game. Any sport, anything in life, you need good communication with. I understand that it's not the perfect world, and if it was, everyone would have a headset and be in voice chat. Good thing about Pokemon Unite is they did add a ping system, so you can kind of let your teammates know what's going on. Always remember that any type of communication is better than no communication. Have a good night, guys.